When a Mexican goes abroad, he or she brings many customs and traditions along. One might be able to physically move to another place, but a Mexican will always take his or her country along, especially the food. To give you an example, right here in Singapore, over 16,000 kilometers away from Mexico, a very special Mexican tradition is being upheld and integrated with the local culture. Meet Maribel and Ash, a Mexican-Singaporean couple with their very own tamale business. They are the foremost promoters in Singapore of this traditional Mexican dish, which is made from a mixture of corn dough and different fillings, wrapped in a leaf and steamed. This mix of Mexican tradition, the touch of Malay culture and way of life, and Maribel and Ash's passion for their product have helped develop a unique type of tamales. No lard, all local ingredients, and even vegetarian and vegan options. You can now sample the ancient culinary techniques of Mexican cuisine here in Singapore.
Hi, my name is Maribel, his name is Ash, and we are Tamales Mexicanos in Singapore. Every morning, 7 a.m., we come here to buy the ingredients so that we can prepare delicious, authentic Mexican tamales. This side of the market is where we buy all our poultry and chicken and meat, everything we need. And in this side is where we can find the veggies and banana leaves so that we can wrap our delicious tamales. So please follow us while we show you where is it that we buy our ingredients.
So you can actually see that some of the ingredients used in Mexican cuisine can be found here as well, such as the limon. Okay, so we will proceed to get the tomatoes and onions and cilantro.
Oh, tomatoes
We can get it from that shop. My favorite shop. We have some favorite shops over here. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Kak, ada bakul saya nak beli ni lah. So we're preparing ingredients for the making of tamales de mole, chicken mole. So we get the ingredients, the fresh produce here, and we'll go and get the chicken breast from the other side. Okay, yeah. So this tomato, onions. You have onions? Bawang mana? Bawang besar yang putih ni.
Yang ada putih, bawang putih.
Bukan bawang putih kecil tau, yang besar-besar ni bawang. Oh, yang itu, yang itu.
Okey.
Yang itu. Bawang besar, bawang besar.
Bawang besar tu.
Saya ambil yang ni boleh?
Boleh.
Okey.
Yang ini, lain kali tak nak ini ya.
Saya nak yang ini.
Okey, boleh tak nak.
Saya nak ini. Ni panggil apa?
Ini bawang Mumbai.
Bawang Mumbai. Oh, they call it bawang Mumbai. Bawang is onion and Mumbai is a place in India. Okay. Bawang India. What else do you need?
You have my phone, I told you just now.
Okay.
Come, I carry for you.
Thank you.
That's okay, no problem.
Ni dorang dari Mexico. Yes. Kak, pisang tanduk. Satu saja. So over here we have piñas, which they already cut for you. We have these mangoes, different types of bananas. This is something interesting. We call it radish or white carrot. Yeah. So when Maribel came here, she never knew of the existence of radish, which we also call white carrot. Okay, so we're now going to get the peanuts for the mole. A very crucial ingredient in mole.
Do you have peanuts? Kacang?
Kacang, peanut.
Yes. Can I have one bag? 1 half kilo or $1? No, one bag. One bag of salted peeled peanuts. $1.
We got to know that in Mexico there is a brand of cacahuates japoneses, and the brand is called kacang. So kacang means peanuts in Malay. So we were very surprised to know that there is this brand which existed, which called kacang, and exists in Mexico. Uncle.
Ya.
Chicken breast.
Kami kilo.
1 kilo.
1 kilo. Yang tak ada tulang
Hah?
Yang tak ada tulang.
Yang tak ada tulang. Terima kasih.
Kilo ya.
1 kilo.
Before we go on to preparing tamales, tell us a little bit about Singapore.
Simply because it's like a huge melting pot of so many, and probably this phrase is overused, a huge melting pot, but that's what it is. A huge melting pot made up of people from faraway lands who our forefathers who came here to look for a better fortune. Singapore is a small island nation made up of about 5 million people, about 30 miles across at the southern tip of Peninsula Malaysia. So it's a very young nation, about 55 years old. It's had diplomatic relations with Mexico for 45 years. So I'm a Singaporean Malay. My family, my father's side came from Malaysia, from Malacca. My mother's side, they have been here in Singapore for 5 to 6 generations, as I've heard from my eldest uncle. So Singapore is nestled in the Malay archipelago. So I'm proud to say that Malay is the national language of Singapore, but English is the business and administration language of Singapore. So Singapore is made up of many different races. So we have 4 official languages, that being English, Malay, Mandarin and Tamil. So you'll be able to see this influence of these languages all around Singapore. The road names, the MRT stations, and the mail. Yeah. The mail.
Yeah, when we get mail, many times you receive the mail in
Yes.
Tamil, Chinese.
Yeah, especially when it comes from the town council, the mail will come in various languages. So what about Singapore is interesting is that all of us, from a very young age, we are very used to mixing with people from different cultures, different races. Our neighbors are of different races, especially if you live in a public housing, a HDB block. You will definitely come across people of a different race than you. So that's what makes us very, very understanding of each other. We tolerate each other's different ways of living. You know, you could have a Malay person living beside a Chinese neighbor, and during festivals like Hari Raya, we will share our food with our Chinese and Indian neighbors, and we celebrate our festivities together in school. So all our holidays most of our holidays in Singapore revolve around the festivities of the different races. Yeah. What else can I?
Diwali.
Yeah, Deepavali or Diwali. We have Hari Raya. We have Chinese New Year. We celebrate Christmas as well, and everybody's friends with each other. So
What about the food?
the food. Oh, the food is amazing. The food is amazing. We have this thing called hawker centers. So my friend once told me that the hawker center is one of the most efficient ways of presenting food from various cultures to anyone and everyone, because being in Mexico, I remember if you wanted to eat Indian food or Chinese food, you'd have to specifically go to a Chinese restaurant, or you have to go to an Indian restaurant, you have to go to an Arabian restaurant to get the specific type of food. But here in Singapore, with the hawker centers, you could get all these different types of food under one roof for really, really cheap. Very, very economical.
Welcome to the kitchen again. Thank you for being here with us. We are Tamales Mexicanos in Singapur, and we're going to be sharing with you today how to make tamales de mole poblano. Okay. So for the mole, we need different ingredients as we have here. So we have Himalayan salt, the different type of chilies that we use, that we import from Mexico. And then we also use cinnamon, we use sesame seed,
Bay leaf, sesame seeds, cinnamon,
this one is cloves, star anise,
and what's this one?
this one is thyme and oregano.
Okay, how about the chilies? Do you remember their names?
Yeah, so we have chile de ancho, chile guajillo, and the other one we use is, let me just check, chile pasilla. Here we have Mexican chocolate. So this chocolate is amazing. Before I had to import you know, chocolate abuelita and everything, but now we have el rey chocolate, which we can find here in Singapore at México Único or La Mexicana. So we also, so it comes like this. And then we have peanuts, which we fried and add some salt to them.
These are the peanuts we got this morning from the Malay market. The platano as well.
So this is a plantain. We normally buy it a bit in advance, or we wait until it's matured and heat it before we use it. And then we have the tomato. Into our mole we also add bread, onion, garlic, as well as handmade tortillas. So this is the traditional recipe from my family of mole poblano, and we have prepared it so that it's easier for you. Basically, the way we do it is we remove the seeds and the veins of the chilies and fry them. Then we fry the tomatoes, we fry the banana. After that, we put it in the blender together with the salt, the different blend of spices, the handmade tortillas and the tortas. So when we have time, we like to make our own tortas. But this time we cheated a bit, so we bought a French loaf to use it, and then we add our onion, garlic, the mole paste. We need to make sure that our mole paste is halal, so there's no lard in our mole compared to many moles that are out there in the market. They do have lard, but ours, since we do everything from scratch, we make sure there's no lard, so everybody can feel safe. So after you blend everything together and fried and the long process, this is what it looks like. Yeah. So this is the mole which we're going to be using to assemble our tamales. So no, I have to import all the chiles. I also import the paste because there's a certain paste that I really like in terms of flavor. So when we were in Mexico, we had to visit different paste manufacturers to make sure that our paste didn't have lard. So we did already that homework, and every time, you know, we have a stock, and once it's finishing, we replenish it so that we make sure that there's always mole for everybody. El Rey, I mean, the chocolate, we used to import it, but thankfully now we have México Único here, so we can buy El Rey, which is as authentic and it's super tasty, so highly recommended. We always like to put a cloth underneath to make sure that we are always like keeping it clean. So cleanliness is something very important for us. So
I think this one is torn, so you might want to put a patch.
Patch.
Yeah, patch it up.
Okay.
Okay, so
this is how the magic happens. Once we put the masa, we just
press it down.
shape it, and then we add our chicken. We're quite generous with the filling because we always want our clients to be happy.
But some people have complained there's too much meat.
Too much meat.
You can't please everyone.
No, but they said we were too generous. They weren't complaining, but they did say that, yeah, it was too generous.
Too much meat.
Yeah, so then we add the mole on top.
Yeah, there are some variations where they cook the chicken in the mole. They simmer it for a bit, yeah? Yeah, there's never one way to make a tamal. There are many different ways. Each family has their own way of making tamales.
Yeah, so this is our way of making tamales.
There's no right, no wrong.
So we fold it downward. And this is my daughter's favorite activity. She likes to contribute in the making of the tamales, even though she's only 3 years old.
Yeah.
So she would always like to pull these leaves.
Yeah, she would tear the leaves one by one. It keeps her occupied.
And she feels part of the activity.
Yeah, she likes to be part of things.
Normally we have a scale here so that we can make sure it's according to the weight. But
yeah, usually we put each and every one on a weighing scale to make sure they're consistent size. Okay.
Okay, so this is how it looks after you have it ready. And then we put them in the steamer. So
let me get the
And we'll continue walking.
In Singapore, you can see that we can't really find the tamales steamer. So you can see that we are making use of Asian equipment to steam the tamales. It serves the same function. It's a bamboo steamer used for making Chinese dumplings. So we use it to steam our tamales. Yeah. So generally we just put it in water. So over here we have a full-size pot to steam the water, and we just cover it like that, and we put it in the water, and we just wait for about 35 to 40 minutes.
Now that we have seen how this amazing pre-Hispanic Mexican dish is prepared, we invite you to have a taste of the delicious tamales mexicanos in Singapore.